What's up, everybody? Build Your Brand Challenge Day 2. We ready for this? All right, Mike, let's do it. Let's jump right in. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Was yesterday awesome or what? I have to tell you before we get into today, and today we're going deeper. I hope you're ready. Hope you got your pens. Hope you got your journals out. I hope you got all distractions shut off because we're going deeper today. Today we're going to hit the ground running. But before we get there, before I do some teaching and we got a special guest and Russell comes, I got to tell you, you guys, I am so impressed. I was up most of the night. I slept maybe 3 hours last night watching video after video. Do you see how this group, the Facebook group, just lit it up? Can I give you some little stats, like to talk about how the world is ready for this? If you want social proof, that whole, 4-minute mile, Roger Bannister, when no one did it, couldn't be done, he did it, and then 18 people did it the next year. That's what's happening right now. Like our team literally hit me up and said, this is going viral. So I got to give you a little numbers. Yesterday morning, because mastermind.com just launched to the world, right? Yesterday morning, we had 1,235 live masterminds. That was really our KBB family who we let in as like kind of beta test. Since then, my team updated this little piece of paper before we started. Yesterday at this time, 1,235 live masterminds. Right now, we're at 8,200, like 7,000 masterminds. Can we give it up? 7,000 masterminds in 24 hours. But here's the crazy part. I got it on my phone because I'm obsessive, and I hit refresh. If I hit refresh right now, they just printed this out maybe 40 minutes ago. Right now, we're at 9,000 masterminds listed on the software. 9,000. And yesterday, we were at 135, or maybe it was 235, either 135 or 235 total sales, because then the world didn't have access to it till yesterday. Right now, we are at 682 sales right now of people buying your courses. Like, I don't know about you, I'm like ecstatic. It's hard to sleep. That's why I'm watching all of them go on. I'm watching the new courses come on. In fact, before we even get started, and today I want to share with you, today we're going to talk about your pivot and what you need to shift from where you are to being a part of this. So it doesn't seem like it's someone else's dream, or maybe it's not right for me. We're going to talk about the pivot. Then I'm going to teach you a little bit on taking your story. And then we got Stacy, who's going to just rock your world to make it real for you. Like the little bit I've got to work with her and know her, you're going to see someone just like you, an ordinary person doing extraordinary things. And then Russell's going to come back and talk a little bit slower today. He was so excited yesterday. He's like, I'm so sorry. I was so excited. I was nervous. He's like, I was going on with Tony and you. And it's like Russell's kind of like, this is going to sound weird, but he's kind of like cute, right? Like in his like naive desire to serve. Like, you did nothing wrong, brother. You lit it up. Can we give it up for Russell Brunson yesterday and let him know he's going to come back and light it up? And then we got some great prizes today. You guys played full out. Like, we're giving away some awesome stuff today. And I think we picked like 7 or 8 people, my team. We all went through so many videos. So many of you did your homework. Thousands of you did the homework. Thousands of you. And we have a team of like 10 people obsessing and watching and learning. And they picked some really great people. And the prizes today are off the charts. You guys are going to get electronics, get tickets to the World Summit, all kinds of cool stuff. I want to make sure I got a cheat sheet so I don't miss anything. Did the homework. Oh, I want to share some regular people who are doing this. Mike, pull this up. I just think this is so cool. Like, this is the Roger Bannister stuff that I want you guys to see, right? Husband and wife duo, parents of 3 collaborating in their launch of Postpartum for Dads. Like, who would think that's a niche? Postpartum for dads? What the heck's that? Bring that back up for a second, Mike. But that's, over on the right is what it looks like on mastermind.com, or to the one side of your screen, right? Postpartum for Dads. I love the cover, love the beautiful baby picture. Amazing, right? They signed up on July 30th, and they already have 5 new clients in their $40 mastermind. Now, is that $1 million? Heck no, but can we give it up for them for doing something you would never think the world needs that? And we just started. We just opened to the world, right? Let's go to this next one. I think this is great. A veteran, first off, thank you. No matter where you served, if it's here in America, thank you, or wherever you served in the world. Mom and wife. Sarah joined the marketplace July 30th, and she teaches people how to be on Etsy. And she got her first client 4 days later. Her second course, Etsy Rockstar Secret, is also picking up speed. So far, 9 new clients, bringing in with $1,200 this month. Now, again, I'm not saying you're going to do this if you put a course up. I'm not saying you're going to make $1. But these are ordinary people overcoming the obstacle of thinking, really, I'm good on Etsy. Do you really think I could teach other people? Let me see. And yes, because there's somebody who's never made one sale on Etsy that doesn't know anything about Etsy, and that would be me, right? So how cool is it someone like Sarah takes that uncomfortable action, takes that imperfect action, and now she's got, I don't know, 9, 10 plus clients and learning, and the software is doing it. Let's do one more. Again, and this is nothing more than seeing the 4-minute mile. We got Deanna Bivens. If I was a girl, my mom was going to name me Deanna. So I get it. So we got this connection now. And you could definitely kick my butt as a 7th degree black belt. She joined the marketplace on the 30th, women's self-defense course for $297. She secured her first client 15 days later and has already had her second sign up. Okay, you could take these down. You got to understand something. I'm just going to pull back the curtain a little before I'll get right into it. I'm sharing these because this was something Tony and I 3 years ago was our passion and desire to take and make self-education the new norm. And then Russell became a part of it. And we wanted to find a way to get that simplicity on the other side of complexity, a place where you can have the process to extract what you know, but then how to get it out to the world in a marketplace. And it's so cool seeing this come to fruition, seeing this become real. And I just want to know, are you guys, I'm going to do a little challenge right now. Are you guys excited about this? Is it just me? Can you start to see, and by the end of today, I want to tell you, if right now you're not sure if this is for you, by the end of today, I truly believe this is it. I'm in. Like, I'm in. So I'm going to do something right now. This is my book. You know, if Russell was talking or Tony was talking, they'd share their book. So I want to do right now, this is my book, The Underdog Advantage. I want to give away 4 signed copies right now. 4 signed copies. All you got to say is I'm in. Whether you're in the Facebook chat or you're on the Zoom chat, type in I'm in. My team doesn't know I'm doing this, so sorry, team. And I want to give away 4 signed copies just to get the engagement. Like, anchor this in. Say to yourself, I'm in. Pretend you paid $5,000 to be here. Pretend that there's nothing else you can do. This is your future, either on the side or in person or scaling what you already have. That commitment changes everything. Lindy, thank you for the yeses and the hearts and the thumbs up. Chris, what's going on today? Hey, Pam, love the sunglasses. What's up, Benjamin and Paulo and Alicia and Pamela? What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Kevin, thanks for spending time with us, man. Like that mic, like your glasses. Appreciate you guys here. Okay, so before I talk a little bit about taking what we worked on yesterday and bring it into more like tactical, and Stacy's going to do that way better than me today because that's her thing today. I want to talk about something that before the strategy happens. Did you remember what Tony said yesterday? Strategy is a must. You must have the proper strategy, the right tactics. But if you don't take the proper action, if you don't have the right mindset, if you don't pivot into it and step into it, I don't care how good your strategy is. It's just another missed opportunity, right? So I was thinking this morning about you guys before I teach this little thing that I think you're going to love. I wanted to talk about pivot. We know if you're here, if you're part of this challenge, whether you joined us in the Facebook group or you're joining us here on Zoom, hopefully you're in the software. Oh my God, so many of you signed up yesterday. If you're not in the software, make sure you do that for $1. Like we said, come on. And we're giving away prizes for both, but you should be building, right? Over 8,000 people put their mastermind yesterday. Let's start this process. But before we even think of any of that, we have to pivot, right? Because life was going this way. And then COVID happened, and maybe you realized you had to change, or something else happened in your life, and everything changed. And the only way we could take advantage, the only way you're probably on this training right now, is you realize you have to pivot. Either go in deeper because you're already doing this, or you want to go faster, or like, didn't even know this existed. Now I'm here and I want to do this. So before we pivot strategies, before we pivot tactics, before we pivot into the software, we have to pivot in here. And I just want to share this with you guys this morning because so many times, you know, just like the book, Who Moved My Cheese, when the world shifts, a lot of people unconsciously, subconsciously will sit around and say, I want the world to go back to where it was. It's time, come on, it's got to open back up. We got to get this world going again. I don't want us to count on that because who knows? I don't know if this is going to last 3 months or another year or longer. right? Instead of us waiting for the world to change and go back to the way it was, collectively together, let's change the world. Let's pivot into a way where we set a new precedent. Listen, I don't believe the world is going back to the way it was for a long time. Let me just ask you guys something right now. Be completely transparent. If I said we were doing, Tony, me, and Russell, right? We're doing the World Summit on Tony's $6 million freaking stadium. It's going to be unbelievable. But if I said to you guys right now, the world opened up, the governor of Arizona says it's fine. We'd like to take 10,000. There's 200,000 people in this challenge right now. We want to take 10,000 of you. You guys come to my city, and next week, we are going to do a live event with 10,000 of us in one room, shoulder to shoulder. Who wants to come? Who would seriously come for 10,000 with 10,000 people? Maybe 3, 4, 5% of you, right? Because we just have this different mindset right now, right? You're like, you want to go, I want to be around those people, but is the COVID thing worse, better than it? Oh man, and we have this hesitation. That hesitation in 90% of the world is going to last a while, no matter what happens. Right? So the world is shifted. So we could be waiting for all that mind stuff shift to happen. We could be waiting for the world to open. We could be waiting to go back to the way things we used to have. Or we could say, we are going to embrace this now. We are going to pivot now. We are going to take ownership. We are going to be the creators, not the followers. We're going to have the head wag the dog, not the tail wag the dog. Right? We're not waiting for the cheese to come back. We're going to find new cheese. That is scary. And that's called a pivot. So that's why I want to spend 5 minutes on this right now before we get into like tactical stuff, is the things, and I think you should write this down, the things that have to pivot for you to actually do this and not dabble, not just be here for entertainment. There's a million things you could be doing. You don't have to spend time with me and Russell and Tony and our guests. You could be doing anything. You'd be sipping margaritas. I don't know, anything. But you're here. And in order to make this real, we're going to have to pivot our beliefs. Pivot. Number one is your belief. Tony already went deep on this. You guys already know this. I'm not telling you something, but you need this as a reminder. If you believe that this shift in the world has taken away what you have, that's the results we're going to get, right? If you believe that, that what is happening in the future won't benefit us, that's the belief we'll get. I'll tell you really quick. I've told this story before. Maybe you've heard it, but this is not a million years ago. This is not a story of fable. This is something that a friend of mine told me, and this is how I remember it. But in Utah, on one road, on one street, about 3 miles from each other, on opposite sides of the road, were 2 restaurants. And when COVID hit, remember when everything was shut down really fast? Like it was nothing. Do you remember? It was like nothing, and then it was everything, right? And then they shut down restaurants. And the one restaurant owner was furious. He said, I can't believe this happened. It's China's fault. It's the president's fault. When are they going to open up? Our governor's too strict. This is going to put me out of business. Kind of like Who Moved My Cheese? And he was standing there tapping his foot and said, bring my cheese back. A few miles down the road on the opposite side of the street, there was another restaurant, barbecue place. And when that happened, this is what I was told. 3 brothers went to like Lowe's or Home Depot that night. And they built, like within the weekend, they built this structure outside of the building so they could do drive-through. And they literally went inside the kitchen and moved everything around so it was 6 feet apart. And they opened up within 3 or 4 days. And he said the line was out the door. They were doing more business because of COVID, where the other person was out of business because of COVID. What is the difference between the two? Nothing more than belief. COVID's still here. Whatever your beliefs are on it, it's still here, right? So here's what I always think about. In 5 years from now, both of those people could be having a story and say one person, hey, what happened to you in 2020? Oh my God, COVID ruined everything. Put us out of business. I worked so hard for that. Damn COVID, damn president, damn whatever. And then you go to the other guy and you say, what happened to you in 2020? Oh my God, it was the beginning of our exploration, our explosion. Now we have 16 restaurants. They're all drive-thrus. We realized the efficiency, thank God for COVID. So it was the end for someone. It was the beginning for someone else with the same scenario. So we have to pivot our beliefs to say, this is our new beginning. Does that make sense? I know so many times it's like, give me the strategy, Dean, I'm in. But if you don't pivot this, I don't care what we teach you over the next 5 days. It'll just be another dream, not a reality. Number 2, we have to pivot our habits, right? The habits we had 120 days ago might not be serving us in today's world. right? So we need new shifts. We might want to focus more on the mindset of what people are thinking, live inside the mind of our prospect. Day 3, tomorrow, I'm going to go deep on ethical influence. How do you get people in today's world to say yes through your heart, not through a cheesy sales pitch? How do you do something that feels so good and still grow your business? That's what we got tomorrow. So we got to shift our habits. We have to shift our focus, right? We have to pivot our focus. Listen, Tony goes deep on this, but if you are focused on what the world took away, what we don't have, focused on where the world could go, focused on the craziness going on with, if you live here in America, the presidency and where the country's going, no matter what side you're on, it doesn't matter. We're focusing on the negativity of all the things going on with race issues, focusing on the negativity of what was taken away and changed because of COVID. If that's what we're focusing on, that's what we get, rather than focusing on what we do have and what capabilities we have to fix the race issue once and for all, to reinvent ourselves during COVID, to see the gifts it's given us by giving us focus to look inside of ourselves and realize sometimes we don't need resources, we need to be resourceful. And then we need to find somebody who's got the strategies and go do it, like you being here. So what are you focused on? If you don't pivot your focus, I don't care what Russell and Tony and I teach you. Your focus will be what you don't have, and that's what you'll continue to get. And then 2 years from now, you'll be like, crap. I was on that live training. I was in it for 5 days. They said this, pretend it was $5,000. It was kind of worth $5,000. But I focused on how I'm not that smart. Or I focused on how the world took things away from me. Or I focused on that my mom and dad always tell me that, or I focused on my husband said I dream too much and I should just get real. I focused on that. That's what I got more of. So we got to pivot our focus, right? So that was the fourth thing. The other thing is, if we're really honest, and I could see those in the VIP Zoom, but I could feel you on the Facebook group. I could see your messages, so please comment below. I could see all of them. But if you're being really honest, all of us, in the last 90 days, has anybody felt uncertain, had nervous energy, not sure where your future is going to go? Who could be honest and say you felt that way in the last 90 days, right? All of us have. Thank God for being human. When the world shifted and Tony had been doing live events in person for 40 plus years, I have to tell you, my brother, who I love like a brother, who we talked 10 times already today, when that shifted, I want to tell you, he went through grief. He wasn't ready to do a virtual event. And he was mad. He was like, I've been doing this for 40 years. How could they stop us? The world needs me. Tony doesn't do this anymore for money. I think you guys all realize. He does it because he's obsessed with leaving legacy and making an impact for those who need it. The guy cries 100 times a day because he just wants to change people's lives. It's true. Maybe not 100, but like the guy's emotional almost every day because he wants to do more, bigger, faster to help people, right? He was furious that it shifted. And he was focused on literally Tony Robbins. There's nobody better in the world. He was focused on how it took away something where he impacted lives. And he was going through like the different phases of grief. He was mad, he was upset, he was sad. Then all of a sudden, thankfully, our friendship, he saved my life so many times. This is one time I got to give it back to him. I got his focus off of that, and I focused on how we could take virtual to a whole nother level and change the world. And when his focus shifted, I watched the man go from, to, holy crap, I could build an arena. I could do it 30 foot high. I could build these screens. I could use this tech. Oh my God. And he went into like being a little kid, and nothing changed. Claudine, I see you shaving your arms up. Nothing changed in his world. COVID was still here. Everything, the only thing that changed was his focus. And when he put his focus on it, I got goosebumps. It was over. Within a week, we had big screens going up and changes and challenges and all this stuff changing. Nothing changed for Tony Robbins except his focus. And he took that nervous energy, that uncertainty. Even Tony Robbins can have uncertainty. I do too. We all do. But he shifted all that energy into where he could go. And that's what we have to do here. Like, we're not here just to get you into a software for $1. We're letting you use it for $1. We're giving the dollar away. We're adding money to it. You get my book for free. You get a training that Tony and I did for free, all for $1 to use our software. We want you to stay in it, but really we just want you to use it. We're here because we want you to shift and pivot your beliefs, your habits, your focus. Focus on this new industry. Take that nervous energy and turn it into forward momentum. Change your messaging. Because if we get you to do that, then when we share these strategies, when we share our tactics, then it can become real in your life. Listen, last night, 24 hours. Look, as I'm sitting here, I got to look again. I'm going to hit refresh. All right, we are now at 9,100 from 1,200. 8,000 of you in 24 hours have already said, I'm taking uncomfortable action. I don't care if people make fun of me. I'm going on this platform. And 500 people have gotten sales since yesterday I was here. Now, again, I'm not saying you're going to put something up and make money. That's a pie in the sky. That's magical money machines. We're just talking about something real, an industry that's growing in a platform where people want it. So with that said, let's get into, so are we ready to pivot? Let me tell you, say I'm ready to pivot. Put that in the chat. Put that in the chat on both Facebook and in Zoom. And guys, can you pick 4 more people? Get in my book, The Underdog Advantage. I'll personally send you a signed copy of this. So guys, hit the chat. My team will pick them. If you want to give me the names later, you can. You know what's cool is having a great team when you can just say stuff and then it'll happen, right? Deanna, you're laughing. How cool is that just to be like, ah, and then it comes back. So 4 of you say, I'm ready to pivot. Like, this isn't, I'm not trying to do cheesy stuff here, guys. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to just get all rah, and I want you, but it doesn't happen without this. This and your mindset and being anchored in to do it and take uncomfortable action is the only way you're going to utilize what we've created for you. So that's why we do this stuff. Okay, let's get to this. Yesterday, I went on the whiteboard and I talked about 7 billion people and get smaller, and we go to that tiny niche within a niche within a niche, which is still potentially millions of people. That's where your confidence grows. So many comments came in yesterday. It's like, okay, I get it. I feel good, but like my wife's example, how would I teach it, right? Anybody have that question? It's like, how would I share it? How would I create it in a course, or how would I do it in a live training? How would I do it? I'm going to give you a little thing, and then Stacy is going to take it home for you today. Like, she's going to make me look bad. But I want to share a little something that I think can help you a lot. And it's called Story Teach. Write down Story Teach. And next to Story Teach, I want you to write down scene, like the scene from a movie, teach. Because sometimes when someone says, well, tell your story and then teach what you learned from it. Man, this is kind of where people get, oh, thank you, Johnny. This is kind of where people get confused and their story is too big, right? They start telling, do you ever anybody want to tell you a story, either sell you something or impact you, and they go back way too far? Well, you know, when my parents split when I was 5, you're like, oh, shit. I just wanted to know how that book impacted your life. And then they tell you the whole story and you lose sight. So instead of the whole story, it's just the scene. Think about this, right? I went through a divorce many, years ago, and I was worried about my kids. My ex and I knew that, that had passed, and I'm not an advocate of divorce. Just saying that was our situation, right? And I was really freaked out about my kids because I was a child of divorce, many of them, right? I was really freaked out about it. But if I was telling you a scene from my life, I'd say I was so worried about it. I was very anxious. In fact, I had anxiety, worried about my kids so much. And that's the scene of my life, just a little scene. It was really first time I had an anxiety attack in my entire life. But then I read some books, I got therapy, and I found some experts that have navigated to put kids first. And now my kids are thriving. My anxiety went away. I ended up in the best relationship of my life. My ex is thriving. My family's thriving. My kids are on a whole nother level. They get to see love in my life. And let me tell you, so that's the little bit of a story, right? A scene from my life. Wouldn't you guys know if you're going through a divorce and worrying about your kids, who would like me to teach them how we got through it and how my kids have no animosity, no worry? I mean, listen, Mother's Day, my wife was sitting at the table with my kids making my previous wife their Mother's Day present. You know what that feels like when your kids have that kind of feel of congruency? I walk in, I got goosebumps. I walk in, tears could come in my eyes. Like, that didn't happen by accident, right? I get emotional on that. But do you see, that was just a scene of my life that I shared, and I know I could teach how I did it. There's about 15 things that we did that have made my kids not even think about it. They don't even know that it's just easy for them, and my heart is so filled because of it. But I didn't have to tell you my whole life story, did I? To know that? Let me tell you something else. When I was, my first book I ever was going to write, I wrote it. I had dyslexia in school. I didn't read many books in my entire life, and I wrote one. I hired an editor. And when I hired an editor, she called me 24 hours later and said, hey, I can't edit this book. It doesn't need an edit, it needs a rewrite. This is a 250-page conversation. You can break some rules when you write a book. You broke every rule. It's not a book. I'm sorry, Dean, you need to rewrite it. And you know what that could feel like? I was in special read. I was like, you dumb fool. Old negative beliefs came back, right? You should have thrown that book away and delete it. But I didn't. And I found a way just to tell a story. I'm a good storyteller. Maybe I'm not the perfect writer. And I found a way to tell a really elegant story. And I just made subtle shifts. And that book went on when I released it. And I was an inch away from deleting it. I swear on my life, I'm not joking. It was in my laptop the day she told me it wasn't a book. I almost just hit delete. I'm not kidding you. This is over a decade ago, 12, 14 years ago. Almost hit delete. I gave it a few days. I went back and made some subtle adjustments from a regular guy who turned it into a story. I ended up finishing the book, and literally the week it launched to the world, it became a New York Times bestseller. It was my first New York Times bestseller. It almost got deleted because someone told me it sucked, right? Who would like to know how my first book became a New York Times bestseller, right? I could teach that, right? I could also teach when I got really busy that my last book, this one, right? I recorded every single chapter on my phone in voice memo and then sent it to a transcription service, and it gave me the leg up on how to write a book while I'm super busy running 3 companies and doing all this stuff. I was able to do that. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because so many times we get the complexity of thinking we got to tell our whole story, and then we got to teach this big elaborate thing. Listen, in 2 minutes, if I told you this, if you ever want to write a book, I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever wanted to write a book, if you just sit and try to write chapter after chapter, it is brutal. But I am a multiple New York Times bestseller now. I did this one with the least amount of effort, and everybody's saying it's their favorite one ever. I want to tell you what I did. I wrote down the 7 or 8 chapters, kind of the riffs that I would love to put in a book. And then when I felt inspired about each one of those, I'd go into voice memo. Sometimes I was in the shower, and I'd get out of the shower, I'd grab my phone, and I'd talk for 45 minutes. When it comes to resources, that's not what you need. You need to be resourceful. And I did a 45-minute riff on the strategies, tactics of how to be resourceful. When I got done, I forwarded it on to a transcription service. For a few bucks, they sent it back to me. I gave it to my assistant. She cleaned up the mess. And then I spent 2 hours on the chapter. And guess what? With a writer, it was done. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Like, I just gave you the story on how I wrote it. And then I could teach you for the next 5 hours on how I wrote a book in minimal time. That's it. It's a little fraction piece of your life. It's a scene of your life. But here's the cool part. I could teach you so many things if I'm just a step ahead of you, if I'm a chapter ahead of you. If you've written 5 New York Times best-selling books, you don't need my training. But if you're here right now and like to do your first book, you would need that. I don't have that training. It's not for sale. I'm just saying, if you've been through a divorce and your kids are thriving, you wouldn't need what I would share. But maybe if you're on the verge of it, or you have a divorce where the kids aren't center and they're suffering because mom and dad are fragmenting them, you should learn what I know, right? So remember, it's about being 1 chapter ahead. It's about sharing what we know. And remember, when you think, I don't know how to teach all this stuff, you're thinking about traditional education. Traditional education, I'm sorry, gives you too much general knowledge. We don't need general knowledge anymore. We can Google general knowledge. We need specialized knowledge. I'm going through a divorce. I want my kids to be okay. Give me the 10 things to fix. I want to write my first book. I don't have a lot of time. Give me the 7 things that can get my book written in less than a month. Right? I don't need to know literature writing or who did the first book. I don't even know any of that shit. I don't need a business degree. I need to know how to do that one thing. And that's when we say specialized knowledge. That's what specialized knowledge is. That's what self-education is. And each one of you right now, I see all your amazing faces. I see all the comments coming in on Facebook. All of you have a story inside of you. All of you have that struggle that you found a solution and you're on the other side, and someone's starting in that struggle. Or you have a skill, or you're great, you know how to eat cleaner than anyone in the world, or you know Pilates, or you know how to do, oh my God, Deanna, I don't think I finished Deanna. Did I? Yeah, I finished. She teaches people, join the marketplace. She's a 7th degree black belt, right? She's teaching women's self-defense. I didn't even say that. She's teaching women's self-defense. I love the picture with the knee in the groin. Way to go, Deanna, right? Like, how cool is that? This is her passion. She's a 7th degree black belt. She knows how to defend yourself better than I do. She'd probably absolutely kick my ass, right? There's not even a question. How cool is it? I could go take classes forever or have my wife take classes, or we can go get Deanna's course and my wife would feel better. Like, this is where the world's going, and that's why you're here at the perfect time in history. You guys feeling it? You ready to keep this day rocking? You ready for this? All right, guys. We are gonna bring on. I'm gonna let Russell introduce Stacy, give a little setup. If I missed anything, I'm gonna be back on, so it's gonna go Russell quick, then Stacy. Take notes like crazy, because then I'm gonna come back in, anchor that down, give away some killer prizes, give away your homework, and what we're gonna do for tomorrow. And this is gonna be amazing. Russell Brunson, you there, brother?
I am here. Can you guys hear me?
What's up, Russell? I love your red shoes, man. Look at those babies.
Oh, man. Well, I had some stuff planned, but I'm going to move right on to Stacy. I want to make sure we get to her. She's been planning and preparing a lot, and we got some really cool stuff. So I'm going to kind of tell you guys the reason why we wanted to bring her into this conversation, want to have Stacy come and share this with you. And I think a big reason is yesterday, obviously, me, Dean, and Tony are so excited. I got a little nervous and got really excited. But we're talking about our frameworks, right? Like, here's the framework I learned, and here's what I'm teaching other people. And I think sometimes you see me or Dean or Tony, you're like, well, of course you can do it. You've been doing this forever. Of course you're doing it because you're teaching people how to make money. Of course you're, and it seems like, well, of course somebody else can do it. But I want to make it real for all of you guys. Okay. I'm going to introduce you to somebody here in a second who 10 years ago, 15 years ago was in a spot just like you. Okay. Someone who she'll tell you the story. She probably did not think she was going to be a relationship expert. This was not her goal. This was not her living. This was not her mission. But then something happened to her, something that transformed her life. And she went through a time of personal development where she grew and grew and grew, which how many of you guys have gone through that, or you're going through that right now? This phase of personal development and growth, and you're learning all these things. You're becoming something more, right? And eventually you feel this calling, you feel this tug of just like, man, this isn't just like for me to become better, but I need to serve other people. Like, how do I transition this from personal growth to actual contribution? How do I help other people with these gifts and these skills and these things that I've been given from God? And that's what I'm gonna have her come talk to you about, because I've watched her and her husband with their company over the last 4 or 5 years. I've been doing it longer, but I got introduced to them about 3 or 4 years ago when they joined one of my programs, and had a chance to watch them and watch how they serve people and how many marriages they've transformed. They have less than 1% divorce rate inside of their groups, which is insane considering, I don't even know what it is today. It's 50 to 70% of marriages go to in divorce now, and they're less than 1%, which is amazing. And so she's taken these frameworks, these skills, and they've transformed so many people's lives. In fact, they've also just so you guys know, after I learned from them here inside of my the marketing groups that we run, my wife and I actually went to their events. We're like, I want what they've got. I want to feel this. I want to understand. I want to experience it. Like, my marriage is amazing, man. If I can have a 1%, the chance of divorce versus a 50 or 60%, like, I'm gonna take every tool, every framework I can get. And so we've been in their program now for 2 years, learning these things from them, and they are amazing. So it's gonna be cool because Stacy doesn't normally talk about business and marketing. She talks about relationships. So I said, look, I want you to help everybody who's watching this to look at, like, what does they do, right? Because all of you guys have something different. Some of you guys are like me and you make potato guns. Some of you guys, you each have a different gift. You have a different calling. And I'm gonna have Stacy explain how this calling for her, how it's transformed into this huge business now. And so I'm excited to have her here. I hope you guys are all excited. So with that said, let's put our hands together for Stacy Martino.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Are you so excited to be here today? Let me see you. Say hello. I'm excited. I want to see you. There you are. Awesome. I am so excited to be here today. What an honor it is. Yep, my name is Stacy Martino, and our organization is Relationship Development. And I'm super excited to share with you today because this is something that I'm really passionate about. As Russell mentioned, I don't teach marketing. I don't teach business. I'm the student of marketing and the student of business, but we have this mission-based organization that we have taken from a calling and a dream to a massive mission-based organization helping thousands of people all over the world. How many of you have a calling or a dream or a passion or something inside of you that it would be a dream to turn that into an organization serving people all over the world? Yeah? So I was in your shoes not too long ago, and today here I am. How many of you would like to be doing a challenge with Russell, Dean, and Tony at some point in your future? Yeah, hells to the yes. Oh my. And you should. And you should. I highly recommend it. So let's dive in because what I want to share with you today is really about how you can go from one place to the other. Okay. So, and I'm super strategic. I do tools, strategies, frameworks, like that's how I roll. So I'm going to dive in. So please, notebook, pen, get ready, put some energy in your seat, be fully present, write as fast as you can and do as much writing as you can because we're going to bring it. Are you guys ready for me to bring it? Everybody's like, oh yes, I'm ready. Let's dive in. Let's do it. Yes. Awesome sauce. Excellent. So, what is it? What is it inside of you that you can share to serve others? That that calling, that specialized knowledge that Dean was talking about, right? That passion, that thing that's so easy for you, but other people are still struggling with it. But you almost feel like, I don't know, isn't this kind of common knowledge? Doesn't everybody kind of know how to do this? P.S. No, we do not. Right? What is that inside of you? Here's what I want you to get. Let's dive right in right now. Your journey is what makes your message so priceless. It's your journey. Do you know how unbelievably precious you are? Do you know how unbelievably special you are? Nobody has walked your steps. Not me, not Russell, Dean, Tony, none of us. Your journey, you are the only one right now on the planet who has been blessed with your journey. Every step, the ones we loved and the ones we wish never happened, it's okay. Every step of your journey has made you priceless as that voice. And so, how do I know that? So, today, yes, my husband Paul and I are very blessed to serve so many. We do live events. We just did our 41st live in-person event. We're blessed to do many live events. Yeah, we have a platform where we reach thousands of people around the world, and we're blessed to be able to serve them. We've been featured in many ways and have unbelievable friends and peers and speaking on stages and featured in books. And yeah, our podcast, the Relationship Transformer podcast, hit over 100,000 downloads in just a couple of months. Spoke on the Funnel Hacking Live stage to 5,000 people. Spoke on the 10X stage with Russell to 35,000 people. I guess now and here, I'm going to have to add this one in next, right? And that's all awesome. And that's who we are today. And that's what we're doing now. But I want you to get that that's not where it started. It's not where it started for me. And it's not where it's starting for you. And so 20 years ago, this is where it started. So that's little Stacy and Paul 20 years ago. That was us 20 years ago. I've been with my husband for 23, 4, something like that, years. And 20 years ago, it was actually July last month, 20 years this year. My husband drove up the driveway, and I happened to be sitting outside on the bench with our dog. And I remember when he got out of the car, from the look on his face, I knew there was something wrong. You ever have that feeling where you look at someone and you're like, oh my God, what happened, right? You know that feeling? I had that feeling, but I also instantly knew that it had something to do with me. And he said the words to me, we need to talk. My heart started pounding. I started breathing. We walked inside and sat on the couch. And he proceeded to tell me all the reasons why, no matter what he tried, that this just was not going to work and that he was leaving. And as I sat there listening to Paul tell me all the things about how I didn't need him for anything, and no matter how hard he tried to make me happy, he felt like he was just making things worse. And I heard his story, I could feel the tears start to roll down my cheeks. Now, that might seem like a very normal reaction for all of you, probably mostly normal people. But at the time, unlike the woman that you see here today and the woman that you'll get to know as me, back then, My nickname was the Ice Princess, and it was super well deserved. I was a no feeling, black and white, kicking butt, massive achiever kind of girl, and my nickname was the Ice Princess. And so I never cried. Paul had never seen me cry. And so as the tears started to roll, the tears turned into sobs, which turned into an unraveling. I started to break down. Have you ever heard that phrase, some people break down, other people break open? You ever hear that phrase before? That must have been what was happening to me, although it would have been helpful to know that at the time. And as I started to unravel, I started to feel a surge of love for my husband that honestly I had never felt before, really never let myself feel. And as I started to sob and I felt this surge of love for Paul well up inside of me, I had what I would call a panicked moment. Because in one consistent moment, I realized several things were true at the same time. One was people can feel love like this. This is a real thing. This is not just in movies or in songs. People can feel love like this. I feel this kind of love for Paul. And at the same time, I knew that I had ruined it by not knowing what I was doing. And no matter what kind of love I felt for him, I was never going to get to live in that love because he was walking out the door. And I literally broke down in that moment, facing my husband and honestly, all the truths that he was telling, because I couldn't disagree with anything he was saying. Our relationship was crap. I didn't know what I was doing. In that moment, I did the only thing I could think of to do. And I hope you won't judge me, but the truth is just the truth in this moment, right? I begged my husband for a second chance. I did. I didn't have any relationship skills or tools. I did the only thing I could think of to do. And I begged him for a second chance. And I said, Paul, you're 100% right. Our relationship is crap. And I don't know what I would do to fix it, but I will tell you one thing I know for sure. This has not been the best of me. This has not been the best of me. I don't know how to do relationship. I've never had a role model that modeled a relationship for me. Maybe you too. And I was full on, totally congruent that I could figure this out. I could become at least the best of me. And I said to him, we laugh about it now, but I say, I've been playing half-ass since the day that you walked in here, waiting for the day when you were going to leave. At least give me a chance to play whole-assed. And then if you don't love the real me, I will release you with love, but let me do the best that I can. Let me throw it all in. Very blessed to have heard my husband tell this story many, many times in our life, and he always tells it the same way. And he said in that moment, me opening in that way, he felt like he met the real Stacy for the very first time. And so I set out on the journey of a lifetime. I dove in. I read every book I could get my hands on. If there was a speaker, my butt was in the seat. I listened to every program over and over again. I tried everything I could get my hands on. And through a lot of trial and error, what I figured out single-handedly saved my marriage. Now, you have to know this is Paul and Stacy 20 years ago. So Paul's version of a second chance back then was, okay, Stacy, clearly you have some stuff you want to work on. There's nothing for me to do, of course, but clearly you do, so you go ahead. So there was going to be no couples work, anything, and I've read book after book after book. Well, ask your husband to do this. Tell your husband. Tell my husband, have you met my husband? Tell my husband nothing is exactly should be the name of this book, because there's no telling my husband anything. This is on me. And so I went trial and error until I finally figured out how to shift things in how I show up. And I single-handedly saved our marriage. Now, can you imagine, looking back now, and there was no Stacy and Paul Martino, there was no relationship development, there was no 8 steps, there was no mentor, there was no guide. There was a guide, right? And this was my journey, right? And looking back, I know why I had to struggle through that so that I would teach. And you too. I figured it out on the steps of my journey. And then it was just for us until one day when Paul was dropping off our son to kindergarten and our whole world changed. Paul had our son Jake in the car with him and he was driving him to kindergarten. And Jake said, "Daddy, what's a divorce?" And Paul said, "Oh, uh-oh, we're having this conversation. What do you mean, what's a divorce? Why are you asking?" And he said, "Well, my friend," and he named his friend who's in his kindergarten class, said that his parents are getting divorced. And he was crying because he's going to be sleeping down the hall from his mom that night and that his dad wasn't going to be in the house anymore. And Paul literally felt like his heart was being ripped out of his chest. And he came home that night and he said, "Stacy, we know this family. Not every marriage is meant to last, but we know this family. And the truth of the matter is, if they just knew what we knew, those kids might be sleeping down the hall tonight from two parents instead of just one." And he sat me down. He said, "Stacy, this can't just be for us. We have to help people. I cannot sit by and watch families unnecessarily unravel when we have the tools, the strategies, we know what we did. We have to help them." And so we felt the moral obligation to teach others what we figured out. We set out on a mission, and our mission is to serve families, to empower you with everything you need to transform your relationships. And in figuring out, okay, what were the steps? What did we do? How did we do it? What are the tools? How are we going to teach it? Which I'm going to go into and teach you as well how to do that for yourself. We cracked the code. We cracked the code. It's how we have a 1% divorce rate. Whether it's to save a marriage, bring passion back to a good marriage, make a great marriage legendary, heal a co-parenting relationship so that you can be harmonious, get into your best relationship, whatever it is for you, we happen to crack the code on relationship, all in a way that it only takes one person to transform any relationship. We don't do any couples work. That's not part of what our method is. We empower one person, just you, to be the hero for your family, for your marriage, your parenting, your business relationships, your family relationships, your relationship with yourself, all of them. Now, in the beginning, this is how we figured out how we're going to teach others to do what it is that we figured out. So you might want to take a photo of this slide so that you can do this for yourself too. We had to answer these 3 questions. If I were going to teach someone else how to get the same results that we've gotten, number 1, what do I need to teach them to do? Number 2, what do I ensure they not do? Like, you have to tell people what not to do. For instance, I'm going to give you one right now. Write this down. If you learn nothing else from working with me, get this. Couples work doesn't work. There's a reason why couples work today has an 80% divorce rate coming out of it, as some studies are showing. Couples work is massively destructive. In my experience, I've helped thousands of people in every kind of family all over the planet. I work with one person. Don't do couples work. And yet we've all been conditioned, right? You have a problem? Go to couples counseling, go to couples therapy. And we've been brainwashed to think that. It's so important. It's like the first thing we tell people is, please don't go to do couples work. It's super destructive. Don't even bring couples work to my stuff. And my stuff works all the time. But unless you bring couples work to it, and then the blame and sideshow starts, right? And so you have to be willing to also tell people what not to do so they don't fall into the traps of what's causing the problems, right? And then 3, in what order will this make sense for them? So those are the 3 things. What do I need to teach them to do? What do I need to ensure that they don't do? That's your level of being willing to protect. people that you serve, regardless of how unpopular what it is that you're saying. How many of you are disruptors? How many of you? Where are my disruptors? Right? You're trying to get your message out, right? I see you. Carolyn and Stacy and Christina and Damon, I see you. Yeah, and Stu, right? Because people are being told to do something that's clearly putting them in the toilet. That's why it's not working out. Of course, what you're going to say is going to be disruptive. Trust me, a lot of what I say is disruptive. I'm not everybody's flavor, but what we do works, and what you do works too. And so those are the 3 steps. Did you get a picture of that slide? Because that's like my number one thing that, oh, there you go. You get a picture of the slide. All right, you guys are awesome. All right. That is how Paul and I invented our relationship development methodology, our 8-step relationship transformation system, and ultimately the over 300 tools in the relationship development toolbox. We created those over 10 years. Don't freaking freak out. Be like, oh my God, I can't create 300 tools. When I started, I had a few tools and my steps, and I'm going to take you through that now too. But over time, if what you're doing works, the beauty is there is no giving without receiving. Every day that you help others, you figure out, oh yeah, I think there were some steps in what I just did. 4 people asked the same question. I gave the same answer. Maybe I should put that in my content. Every time you give, you receive. More tools go in the toolbox. You're going to start and then you're going to build. Don't let it overwhelm you. And of course, yes, we speak on stages. We do awesome and cool stuff, but nothing beats this blessing right here. This is why we do it. Our Relationship U program has a 1% divorce rate and a 99% success rate over 6 years. 6 years. No one can touch that. Nowhere. That is the blessing. That's right. Amen, 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 amen. That is the blessing. Do you know how many families came to us after 1 year of failed couples work? 2, 3, 4, 7 counselors literally prescribing divorce. There's no other fix for you. You have to get a divorce. Came to our program, 99% success rate. Why? Because the old way is broken and we have invented a new methodology that works. And doesn't every single family deserve to have that in their hands? Don't you want to see every single family have that in their hands? Every man, woman, and child across the planet? I do. And I want them to have your solution too. Can you imagine if I had stopped 10 years ago and said, I'm not smart enough. I didn't get a degree in psychology. I'm not, I don't know anything about business. I don't know anything about marketing. Can you imagine if I had talked myself out of it? Where would these families be? What would have happened to those children in those homes if I had made this about me? It's gotta be for them. It's gotta be for them that you get up every day. Will you get up every day for them? Let me see you. I want to see you. Awesome. I see you. Oh, and the yes and the waving. Look at you, Catherine, prepared with your yes sign. I see you all waving. Look at you. 3 signs, Lindy. Awesome. And Lisa and Stu, Rebecca, fantastic. That's what it's got to be about. That's what we do more for. It's got to be for them. You have to love your students enough to serve them and deliver results. Write that down. I have to love my students enough to serve them and deliver results. Look, I know you've got all kinds of drunk monkey chatter that comes up. That's what Paul and I call it. It's like the drunk monkey that lives in your head narrating all your crap. You got to silence that monkey sometimes. So sometimes the drunk monkey chatter comes up and you're like, oh my gosh, this is too hard. This is too technical. I don't know how to do this. Can't do this alone. We have all of that crap. Just come back to this. You have to love them enough to serve them and deliver results. Look, I know you can serve them, and I know you can deliver results, and I know you love them. That's what you need. And you've got that in spades. You've got loads of that. Will you do that? And will you come back to this message when that drunk monkey tries to shut it up? Be like, drunk monkey, we love you too. We know you have some issues you want to work on, but we got to focus right now. We got to focus. All right. If you love them and you're committed to serving them, then it comes down to the strategy, your process, your frameworks, and your steps. And we can teach you how to do that. How many of you, that's the part that scares you? You're like, I know what I do, but my process, my frameworks, my steps, let me see you. I see you. Awesome. God bless you. Amen. Awesome. Look at you. Gorgeous people. I love it. Fantastic. Yes, yes, I see the signs. We can teach you that. I want you to write this down in your journal. All of the strategy is teachable. All of the strategy is teachable. Write it down. I'm not guessing. I'm also the student, right? Russell is my mentor. We have a saying around town here, hashtag do what Russell says. And you know what? I did it. I did it. All of that is teachable. We can teach that to you. Don't be scared. You can do this, and we can show you how. Want to see how I did it? Would that be helpful? Would you like to see how I did that? Yes. Awesome. Look, we got the hands going and the cheering. This is great. All right, everybody, we're going to play. I'm going to walk you through one of our tools. All right. So I'm going to teach you one of the tools that we developed that's in the relationship development toolbox, and you'll see how this whole thing plays out. So this tool is called right hand, left hand. So I've actually, it's funny, Dean was telling a story about when he started with Tony Robbins 25 years ago, he was talking about. It's interesting because this year is my 24th year. I started with Tony Robbins 24 years ago. And I used to coach a lot of folks in the personal development space. Where are my growth people? Let me see you. Put your hands up. Where are all my growth people at? Yes, amen. I love it. I love it. So I used to be, of course, that was my peer group, growth and development junkie right here. And I used to coach a lot of folks in the personal development space. And I noticed this dynamic that kept coming up. People would leave a personal development event like a UPW, right? Like a Date with Destiny, unbelievable. Like the World Summit that's coming up, unbelievable, life-changing events. And they would leave that event and this little cute little dynamic would happen. Maybe you recognize this. They would go home to the people in their lives and they would vomit all their personal development all over them about the event that they had just been to. Let me see you. Let me see you. This is you, right? Right? Aunt Beth just says, hey, can I have another piece of pecan pie, even though I probably shouldn't? And you're 15 minutes into why your raw food cleanse changed your life. And she's like, child, I just wanted another piece of pie. Can we can it on the celery juice and the 21-day raw food cleanse? And so it doesn't go very well. You've had this life experience, yes, where you're vomiting your personal development. And so this dynamic kept coming up. And write this down, take notes, because this is your life too. Two outcomes come from that. Two outcomes. One is you start to pull back. You start to release some of the breakthrough that you've had. You go back to a little bit of playing small because you feel their resistance. And you don't want to lose that relationship with them. There's a part of you, even if you don't have words for it, that senses that they're uncomfortable with your growth. And so you kind of start this slide back to where you were so that everybody around you is a little bit more comfortable with you being who you used to be, right? That's the first option. The second option is you're like, you know what? Screw all of you. If you don't like me and this change, then go to hell. Like, I'm done with you. You're out of my life. I'm not even going to talk to you anymore. I'm so happy. This is the best my life has ever been. And if you don't get that about me, then, talk to the hand. I don't care. Screw you. And they alienate people in their lives. Now, both of those outcomes suck. Neither one of those outcomes is a prize. And so I created this tool called right hand, left hand, originally just to help my clients navigate this. Now we teach it to all of our students, and I'm going to teach it to all of you. Are you ready? Say, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay. There are 3 groups of people in your life. How many? 3. Amen. 3 groups. One is toxic people. We're not going to talk about them. We'll have a separate event and we'll talk about that. The other 2 primary groups of people in your life are your friends and family and what we call your 7th power. Where are my Tony Robbins people? Your 7th power. So your 7th power people in your life are the people that you grow with, the people that are on the development path with you, the people that when you read a book, you're like, dude, you got to read this book. Right? The people, when you do an event, you're like, oh my God, the event, let me just tell you everything. The people that are also growing that you can share with and they share back. These are the people that champion you and celebrate you when you grow. And if we're being honest, these are also the people that if you're not reaching the top of your mountain of potential and you're slacking, they will get behind you and kick you all the way to the top if that's what it takes, because they are on your side. They are your 7th power. Those are your people. That's your 7th power group. Now, the other group of people in your life, probably the biggest percentage of people in your life, is your friends and family. They're not toxic. They're just not on the personal development path. Write this down. Just because my friends and family are not into personal development does not make them toxic. Can we just take a deep breath and breathe that out? It does not make them toxic. They're your friends and family. They're not into personal growth and development, and that's okay. They don't have to be. And so we created this tool to help you learn how to navigate that. So everybody stand up wherever you are. Stand up. Everybody get up. Stand up from your chairs. Awesome. Put your hands out in front of you like this. Oh, I love you. Look at all of you standing. All right, awesome. Right hand, left hand. Your 7th power is in your left hand. This is where your tribe is. These are the people you grow with. These are the people who will support and champion you. And these are the people who will stretch you. Right hand, friends and family. They're not on the personal development path, but they're not toxic in your life. They're just not into it. They're not on the same road you're on, but they're your friends and your family. Pain happens, put your hands together, when you don't know what hand you're in. That's right. When you don't know what hand you're in. Grab a seat, write this down. Pain happens when I don't know what hand I'm in. And so there's a solution. It's a framework. Write this down. It's 2 steps to solve this. Because what I see is so many people will say like, oh, only surround yourself with positive people then. Like screw everybody else. Only keep people in your life if they support everything that you do. Well, that's kind of a travesty. Because there are a lot of beautiful humans on this earth, and everybody comes here for their own purpose. That is just between them and their creator. And honestly, that ain't none of your business. And just because they're not into what you're into doesn't mean you need to cut them out of your life. We can all grow here. And if someone tells you that, that's okay. They only want the best for you. They just ran to the end of their skill set. That's all. And I'm going to extend your skill set now so that you don't have to live that way. Because the truth is, you can have it all and your relationships can thrive too. 2 steps. 1, write this down. 1, know my role. Oh, sorry, that's 2. Scratch that. Number 1, know what hand I'm in. Know what hand I'm in. Thank you. Before I interact with someone, am I in my right hand? Are they in my right hand or are they in my left hand? Know what hand I'm in. I'm going to a group with my mastermind friends, left hand. Awesome. Go for it. Talk about everything. Strategize, share, talk about the book you're writing, your mastermind course, all of it. Or am I going to Aunt Susie's? And I need to buck up and be ready for that because they're my friends and family. Okay, know what hand you're in. That's step number 1. Step number 2, know your role. Know your role. When you're with your left hand, people, your 7th power, your tribe, your community, yes, do it all. Share, get your validation there if you need that. Talk about it, strategize, share, and let them share back. Support them, all of it. When you're with your friends and family group, the right hand, you only have 2 jobs. Write this down, please, my friends. 2 jobs. 1, lead by example. You don't have to vomit the example. Live it. Lead by example. Live your life as the example so that if they ever do want that solution, if they ever do want to shift, if they ever do want to grow, they have watched you do it. They will seek you out because you lived it. Number 1. Number 2, they will never seek you out. They will never ask unless you do role number 2, your job, role number 2 when you're with your friends and family. It's the hardest thing to do. And it is the answer to it all. Give unconditional compassion to them for wherever they are in their journey of life without judgment. Give unconditional compassion to them for wherever they are in their journey of life without judgment. If you do that, and if you show up that way, and you're living by example, when they want to grow, they will seek you out because you've been that force in their life. And here's why. Put your hands out again. You have a 7th power. You have a tribe in your left hand. That tribe has been placed there. You have joined it. We're here together today so that you fill up from your left hand so you have to give in your right. Say, I will give from my right. I will give from my right. Receive in the left, give in the right. Give. How many of you have had kerfuffles with family members over time because they just didn't get what you were doing? They didn't love hearing what your solution is, even though they've been complaining for 20 years about that same person in their payroll department at work. And you can't listen anymore. And you're like, I told you 6 years ago what to do, but you don't listen to me. How many of you have had kerfuffles with family? This is the answer. And you know what? It's as much for them as it is for you. Because we can all stand to exercise our muscle and grow in our ability to give unconditional compassion to those around us in our world. In fact, if I may say so, there are many humans on the planet today who will live their whole lives and pass never having felt unconditional compassion from another human their whole journey. You could be that person for someone. That is the difference of using the right hand, left hand tool. Will you leave and use the right hand, left hand tool from here on in? Will you use it and remember? Yes, amen, amen, amen. I see you. Amen. Oh, God, look at your gorgeous faces. I love it. Here's the thing, folks. That was a framework. That was a tool. You have that inside of you too, and you don't even know it yet. And here's the strategy I'm going to give you. Frameworks are key. Frameworks are the way that we make everything digestible for people to learn from us. And here's the Stacy version of that. Name it and make it a tool. Name it. Name your framework. If you get one thing out of this session with me today that will change the trajectory of your effectiveness and your service forever, name your framework and make it a tool. Why? Why create tools? Frameworks make your content digestible, usable, and repeatable. Digestible, usable, repeatable. But the tool makes it so they reach for it, they use it, and they remember it. Take a picture of that slide. Take a picture. I know you're going to want it. You're going to ask me for it later, and I'm going to say, take a picture. Let me ask you, do you feel like you can use the right hand, left hand tool after you leave this class today? Honestly, and if it's no, it's no. But do you feel like you could use this when you leave here today? Excellent. That looks like almost everybody raising their hand. All right. Well, let me ask you this. How many of you feel like you might remember the right hand, left hand tool for a year, maybe even years to come? You might remember this. Excellent. Wow, look at all that. And I know we all have crap memories today, right? We can't remember jack. I don't even know why I walked into this room. Here's the difference. If I just taught you how to show up in your relationships and get better results without naming it right hand, left hand, and giving you the framework, do you feel like you would remember that 10 years from now? Look at these heads shaking no. No. That right there, that is why you build frameworks and name them to create tools. That right there. So that years from now, there'll be people all over the world saying the names of your tools and using your content to get great results, real results in their lives. Are you with me? You got that? I know you're writing. God bless you. I know, and I talk fast too. This is impact. This is service. This is about meaning. Truly showing up to serve. It is your time. We need you. There are people waiting for you right now. How do I know that? No one else can do what I do because they don't have my journey. And I can't do what you do because I don't have your journey. How many of you feel you struggle to feel prepared? How many of you? Let me see you occasionally. You don't feel confident, capable, ready enough. You don't feel prepared. Let me tell you right now, my friends, from my heart to yours, life has been preparing you. Life has been preparing you. You know, I shared that 24 years ago, I started with Tony Robbins. I was sitting on my couch. If I had to guess, I would say I was probably eating ice cream. It was 2:00 in the morning, flipping through the channels, landed on QVC, and there's this big giant man talking about how amazing life could be. And I was sitting there and I remember grabbing a legal pad off of the top of my stack of work and a pencil and just writing as fast as I could, writing down everything that he said. And then he said the 9 words that literally ended my old life and started my new one. He said, what if this is as good as it gets? And in my head, the voice said, I don't know if I want to go on. And it was in that moment that I left the old talk, the old mindset, the old everything behind. I picked up my phone, dialed the number for QVC, press 1 to order back in those days. Like, should I go for the extra $20 to get CDs instead of cassettes? Got the program, listened to it over and over and over again. Of course, that program is now the Ultimate Edge program, definitively the greatest personal development program on the planet in existence. And it was the beginning of what changed my life. How do I know your life is preparing you? How many of you started with personal development or Tony Robbins and it was the change in your life? How many of you? And you didn't even know it now, but looking back now, you're like, holy crap, that was it. But in the moment, it just felt like Tuesday, right? You don't even know. That was 24 years ago. And 1 year later, I walked into a party with my friend from my accounting firm, and he said, oh, I want to introduce you to my friend, Paul Martino. And I met my husband. And thank God, Tony had been preparing me for how to see life and how to understand human wiring. Everything I was about to need for this journey that I was about to go through, I was prepared, thank you, God, right before I needed it. Tony came into my life. The universe brought me my husband. Your life has been preparing you. The universe, whatever it is for you, has been preparing you right before you have needed it. Anytime you question it, your life has been preparing you. Only you can do what you do because only you have your journey. You know, we all have a yellow brick road to our own Oz, the result that we want. And everybody has their own yellow brick road. Your journey that you have been on is what's going to become their yellow brick road with you. Your journey that you have navigated is going to become their steps that they take with you. You don't have to question if you're prepared or enough. You have walked the steps. Your journey has qualified you to be that person. And the steps of your journey become their steps in their yellow brick road with you. Deliver results. Always give more, right? Over deliver. Tony was talking about it last night, how you always over deliver, and that's how you get results with people. And sometimes we can feel like, wow, that feels like a lot. That feels like a burden. Over delivering feels like I'm going to have to be giving all the time. When is that going to come back to me? There is no giving without receiving. There's a gift to over delivering. Paul and I have been doing our Relationship You program for 7 years now. That's the program where we have a 1% divorce rate. We have a 96% advancement rate in that program. 96% of our programs, it's a $15,000 a year program. 96% of them rush to sign up again for another year. How would you like to keep 96% of the people that ever sign up for your program and just keep growing every year? Would that be helpful to you? Would that work for you? That's what happens when you over deliver. That's what happens when you deliver results. And it's unheard of. People ask us all the time, how do you do that? We deliver results, our solution works, we love our students, and they know we're not doing this for us. We're doing this for them. Paul and I are good. There's a lot of things we could do. We have been called to serve. There's only one reason why we get up every day, and that is to give every family this opportunity to create this result for themselves as well. It is our calling. And so what about your people? I know you think, oh, that's great, Stacey, that you have people, but I don't know where my people are. I don't know who my people are. I don't know how to find my people. How many of you have thought that at times? What about my people? Where am I going to find them? The key is your people are actually waiting for you to serve them. They are. They're sitting in prayer each night. They are begging for answers every day. They are waiting for you to show up and give them your knowledge, your info, your experience, the solution that you have. They're waiting for you. How will you know them? How will they know that it's you they were waiting for when you show up? Because you were them. And the truth is, they are you. They are you in your before story. And when you see each other, you'll know them. And they'll know you. Your days of holding yourself back are over. Number one, they need you. Number two, your journey is their step by step. And number three, you know them and they know you. Your days of holding yourself back are over. And now we're giving you the how. We're literally giving you the how and walking you through it. So if you ever doubt, oh, is this for me also? Like, I know maybe for them, but is this for me also? Look at who showed up in your life right now to guide you. Oh, I just got chills. Look who showed up now, right before you needed it. Clearly, you've asked, and you have been heard and answered. There is no better Glenda to guide you on this yellow brick road. It's your time. God bless, and thank you for sharing it with me. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome.
Was that amazing, you guys? Did you guys enjoy Stacy? I hope that, first off, a couple things. I hope you guys connected with her story. I hope number two, you guys saw the power, which talks about creating tools, and from the tools, for your frameworks, creating tools and making names. And third off, hoping you see the value of what she's talking about, right? Your mission is huge. There are people who are waiting for you, who are praying for you, looking for you to change their lives. Now it's up to you to be the ones who are willing to step up and to make that next step. I know that for some of you guys, there's been some streaming issues on Facebook today. We apologize. We'll be getting the replays up and live as quick as humanly possible for anyone who's having any issues to be able to watch this entire day as well. So don't stress about that. They'll be coming. Right now, what I'm going to go through really quick what your guys' homework assignment is day number 2, and then we're going to pass it back to Dean for some other cool stuff. Does that sound good with everybody? You guys ready for your homework? All right. Okay, so we're two things really quick. We got 2 videos I'm going to show you guys. Very first, yesterday, again, I asked everybody, I said, who here knows what the software that we keep talking about is? What is this mastermind platform? And most people have been like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm going to show you guys a quick, like minute and a half long video. It's going to explain really quickly what it is. It's a different video than yesterday, so it'll be kind of fun to show it. And hopefully it'll help you guys see the vision where we're going with this. And number 2, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you guys how to do homework assignment number 2. It'll take less than 5 minutes, and we'll pass it back to Dean. Does that sound good? All right, let's cue up video right now.
The world has shifted. People are realizing that they would rather learn from a non-professional doer than a professional teacher. The education system is broken. It's not serving people.
If you go to the university today, you paid 8 times more. It's grown 8 times faster than incomes. We have $1.5 trillion worth of debt. It's insane. Our goal is to cut through all that and say, this is the new way to get educated. Not by going on the internet and learning anything. It's going for the people that have produced the results.
You see, masterminds are different because they're so embedded in actual success, not theory.
Traditionally, masterminds were hard to get into. They were expensive. They were exclusive. You had to travel somewhere to get to a spot where you could be together with people. Because of all these things, most people never had a chance to experience one. And that's why we created mastermind.com, to bring that experience to everybody.
We knew it was time to create the one place to find a course, a training, a mastermind, a workshop that can allow them to have the competitive edge, the self-education like this, fast and easy. And also, if you have a skill, a hobby, a passion, an expertise, this is the place to extract it and share it with the world.
No matter what business you're in, not only can you attend masterminds and join them, you can also create your own. You can build your own groups of like-minded people where you can learn together and you can serve them as well.
So we want to help build a community where you can take anything you know and bring it to the marketplace. This is the new way to get educated. I don't know what my life had been like. I don't know what your life had been like if we weren't self-educated. If we just had a standard education, we'd have a standard life.
So if you're searching for a course, search around. If you're ready to share what's in your soul, your heart, your passion, your desire, your story, then click the link below and take the 14-day trial and see for yourself how you can become a part of the knowledge industry.
All right. I hope that video helped kind of re-explain. So really quickly, our goal with this entire challenge, my goal is, Dean and I have been talking a lot about this, like our goal is to get you off the sidelines. During the video, I kind of drew this up really quick. This right here is a lot of you guys in this this time in your life, right? You've been in this phase of growth. You're learning, you're growing, you're going to masterminds, you're watching, listening to podcasts, you're watching videos. Like you're in this phase where tons of people are pouring into you, right? And you've been growing and like you feel this amazingness, right? And now we want to get you guys off the sidelines and into the game, shifting you from growth over here to contribution. Okay, there's a group of people you've been called to serve who are waiting for your tools, your frameworks, your talent, your life experience, your story, because you can change their life. And so our job with this, our goal is to get you guys into the software, to get your courses published, to get these things live so you can change the lives of your customers and moving from growth to contribution. And so that's what the whole goal of this and what I'm so excited for. So what I'm going to do yesterday, we had so many of you guys not just do your homework. Most of you guys went in there. We had over 9,000 live courses and masterminds go live in the last 24 hours, which means you guys didn't just do the homework. You actually got everything in there and published them. They're live in the marketplace. So that's for all of our overachievers. So for overachievers, you may have already done homework assignment number 2. But those who haven't yet, I'm walking you through the second step in the homework. It's not difficult. It's not hard. In fact, it should take less than 5 minutes. So with that said, I'm going to cue the second video right now for homework number 2 to show you guys exactly what you need to do tonight. All right, everybody, welcome to day number 2 homework. Day number 2 picks up where day number 1 left off. So you log into your organization and then scroll back down to the mastermind that you guys created yesterday. So I'm gonna click right here on the funnelology one that I started yesterday. Now, the first thing I'm going to do in today is I'm going to go through and start actually creating my sessions. Now, for me, my sessions are the steps of my framework. What's the first thing I'm going to teach them? The second thing, the third thing, and so on. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to create a session for each of the modules that I want to actually have inside of my course. So I'm going to click on Add New Session. And this is the fast way where I can just name each of my sessions or my modules. I like calling them modules. So I'll make my very first one. I'll call it module number 1, and I will create the session. And I'll create session number 2. And for me, session number 2 or module number 2 is called Hook Story Offer. And then I'll create the next one. And I go through and I just create all the different modules that I'm going to have inside of my course. Now, again, these can change, these can edit if you don't like them later. Nothing's set in stone. So everything's really easy to edit. But I like going through here and just kind of plugging in, like what is my framework? What's my framework for this actual course? What's going to be the first thing I teach and the second thing, the third thing? And I always like looking at them as modules, and I break down everything into modules. So you can see really quickly here, I'm just plugging in each of the different module titles. And I've got one more. There's 7 modules I've outlined for this course. Add new session. And there you go. My 7 modules are all in here. So if I scroll back up here, you can see, okay, here's the 7 modules that are going to be here inside of my course. Now what I'm going to do is going to go into, and I'm not going to do all of them right now, but just we're going to do module number 1. So if you don't have all your modules yet, that's totally fine. Just figure out what's the very first one going to be called, create that one. And now we're going to go inside of it. So I click on that. And today's homework assignment is now fill out this, this step in the process. Okay. So I'm going to go through every single thing. So number 1, we already have the topic done, right? Now I'm going to write a public description. Okay, the public description I wrote, I just copied and pasted it in there. And then session content. Now, session content, these are things that will show up below your video. So a lot of times if I have download links or sending them, let's say I say, join my Facebook group here. I may come in here and put it as a bullet point in case I have a couple things I want to give them. I can highlight it and I can make it an actual link. And here I'd enter in the link URL of my Facebook group. For right now, I will just post in the link to the Build Your Brand group. And now there's a link underneath the video that'll have people join the Facebook group. Okay, I'm gonna keep coming down and fill out the next steps. Next, there's 3 ways you can add your video content into the members area. Okay, now if you've never done a course before in the past and this is your very first time, then I highly recommend doing the live session. This is something that's very unique to the Mastermind platform that no other platform allows you to do. You just click on live session, you can put it in a webinar mode, which basically means you'll be presenting and people can go and they can interact. Or if you don't want webinar mode, it runs more like a Zoom room where you can have multiple people and you can be be interviewing and talking back and forth. Okay, then pick a date and a time, and then you can go and you can set up and run your very first live session. Okay, you can do it right away, or you could do it, sometime in the future. Okay, or if you want to test it, just click on the start session in 3 minutes, and it gives you the ability to test the live mode right now. Okay, so you can do that if you don't have a course yet. Okay, let's say you've already done a course. Maybe you recorded it on Skype or on Zoom in the past, and you have the video file. If you do, you click right here on pre-recorded session, click on this button right here, and then you can just drag and drop your video in here. It'll upload it to our platform, and then it'll automatically be added into your members area. Or the third one, and this is my personal favorite, is let's say you have a training and you have it hosted on YouTube or on Vimeo. Vimeo is my favorite personal platform. You click on here and then just put the link in here. So I've added the link to one of my Vimeo videos there, and it'll pull it in from Vimeo or from YouTube and host it inside the members area as well. Okay, so pick which one of these 3 options you want. It doesn't matter to us. Either set up a live session, upload a pre-recorded session, or take a video off YouTube or Vimeo and plug it in. And now we're ready for the next step. The next step is to add a video cover image for this actual training. For this example, I literally just grabbed a picture off my phone really quick just to make this simple and easy so you guys aren't stressing out. So here's a photo from my picture or from my phone, uploaded it, done. And boom, there's my video cover image. Last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scroll back up here to the very top, and I'm gonna go and turn the status of this module to publish because it's done. After I clicked on publish, I'm gonna come back down here and click on the update session. And with that said, my homework assignment number 2 is finished. Check it out. I've now got one of my modules here inside the course, and it's all filled out. You can see it's green because it's been published. So all the things are done for module number 1. Now I still need to go back through here, obviously, and add the videos and descriptions for all the other modules, but the first module is finished. And if I come up here and I click on preview, you guys will see what it looks like when somebody actually buys my course. Boom, they see module number 1. It's got my video in here. And as we add the other modules and videos and publish them, the other ones will show up there as well. But there you go. Now homework number 2 is finished. Your job now is to go back to the Facebook group, make your live, do hashtag homework number 2, and let us know it's finished. And that way you'll be eligible for some prizes and a whole bunch of other exciting stuff as well. Again, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed doing homework assignment number 2. All right, you guys. So homework assignment number 2 is very simple and very easy, right? Now, for any of you guys who do not have the software yet, I got 2 things. Number 1, you can still go get signed up for $1 right now to start using the software, and you get a 14-day trial to play with it. All you gotta do is go to trymastermind.com. And then yesterday, as we were talking about Try Mastermind, Stacy was actually in the room just kind of preparing for today, and she said, "Can I give people a bonus if they sign up as well?" And how many of you guys actually would love if Stacy gave you an insane bonus to help push you over the edge to make sure you sign up? How many of you guys want that? All right, they want it, Stacy. Let's have Stacy come back on stage. She can tell you what that is. Come on up, Stacy. So what does everybody get if they get this Try Mastermind today? How are you gonna help them out?
All right, guys. So I'm going to give you 2 of our programs. How many of you listening to what I'm talking about? And you're like, lady, give me the toolbox. Give me the set. I want it, right? So I don't want to leave you hanging. So here's the thing. Get into the software because it's never been easier than the way that they're simplifying it. Never. Not for me, not for Paul, not
You
even
should
for
have this
Russell.
a decade ago.
Oh my gosh, amen. So get into the software. When you do your $1 trial, folks, $1, we're going to give you 2 of our programs. One is our 14-day boost program. It's 14 days of training to transform your relationship in those 14 days, to give you the biggest boost, real live tools from our toolbox to give your relationship a boost, whether you're using it for your marriage or your business relationships, your family, whatever it is. It's 14 days to your biggest boost. And then the second is a brand new program that we were actually going to release in October, but we moved it and pushed it to September. And then it turns out it was perfect for this. We're going to give you access to our parenting boost. Our brand new RD parenting boost is the very first release of it. So you can reduce kerfuffles and increase harmony in your home so that things can get done, but in a way that you're actually building up your relationship with each of your children, as opposed to the nagging and the yelling and the policing and the stress that's going on. And I know school's not coming to save us, and they still never leave the house. And so we need real tools for real families. And so we're going to give you our parenting boost and the 14-day boost program when you do your $1 trial. All you have to do is log into the Mastermind software, and there's a pop-up there. Now, for everybody who's already in there, don't worry. We got you covered. Log into your Mastermind software today. There's a pop-up that says, hey, don't forget to claim your bonuses. We put a super secret link right in there. Click on the super secret link, and then it'll be free for you. You don't have to pay for the program at all because you're in the Mastermind software. And then for anybody else who does it today, you can get access to this bonus when you do your $1 trial. I'm so excited for everybody.
So awesome.
All right, awesome.
Thank you,
Do it.
Stacy. Oh, how cool is that? Okay, and I want to say a couple of things. Number one, I've been in Stacy's program now for 2 years for $15,000 a year program or whatever we pay for it, and it's been amazing. Their Stacy and Paul's work on demand relationship is second to none, and I think this is going to give you guys the introductions that help you understand it for your relationships, but also for your kids. So if you're like me and your kids are driving you crazy during quarantine, and I've had a chance to go through a lot of parenting stuff. My wife went to a live event specifically on parenting recently with them, and it's amazing. So that's the gift. All you do is go to trymastermind.com, and you're going to get everything we talked about before, plus Stacy and Paul add in that amazing gift for you guys as well, which will help you in your relationships and your with your spouses, your kids, your employees, a whole bunch of other stuff. So thank you guys for putting that gift in. That is super awesome. That's something they sell on their websites right now for full price. You guys get it for free by just going to trymastermind.com. And again, if you already have the software, next time you log into the software, it'll pop up and give you a link. You go create your accounts inside their courses. So that's kind of what's happening, you guys. How many of you guys are excited and ready to go do your homework? I'm going to look for, I think, pull Dean back in right now because Dean's going to kind of walk us through, I think, some more prizes and what the game plan is for tomorrow, as long as Dean is still here. Otherwise, I will try to do that as well. But I'm hoping that Dean...
What's up? Can you hear me?
All right, Dean's in the house. He's back.
Let's give it up for Stacy and Russell. Whoa, let's do it. All right, was that amazing? Anybody else tear up while Stacy was sharing, or is it just me? I literally was sitting here sobbing because I could feel her emotions and I could feel her passion, and it's just really cool. Listen, and also I know today, if you're watching on Facebook, the buffering was a little off. Zoom is just having a little bit of issues by the time it got over there, so we have the high quality replay that's already done. As soon as we're done today, we'll send that back out. So if you guys were watching, it was a little choppy. I know that can be annoying sometimes. You'll have the crystal clear version, and be on the lookout for your links tonight and tomorrow for tomorrow's training. We might mix something up tomorrow, so we definitely don't have to worry about that again, but we'll figure that out on our end. We have really great people on the tech side. Sometimes it's out of our control. It was Zoom. Okay, so what did we learn today? Like, really think about it. You know, you're here on this journey. And if you paid $5,000 today, that's why you were here. What did we learn? We learned about pivoting, right? We learned that we have to pivot our mindset. We have to pivot our beliefs, our habits. We have to pivot our focus. We have to pivot that feeling to, yes, I'm going to go this. Instead of waiting for the world to change, we're going to change the world. We can solve problems by being leaders, by being role models. We talked a little bit about the scene, right? There's scenes in your life. If you don't look at it so big like a story, if we look at it as these little scenes, those scenes turn into a teaching moment. I mean, just think about when you read a book, like, oh my God, I read this book, it's so amazing. And let me tell you the things that I learned. And let me tell you 2 things you should do. We're doing scenes and teaching all the time. We do it with our kids, right? Think about that, right? When we care as much for the people we serve like we care about family, that's when life changes and goes to a whole nother level. And then Stacy came in, and I just loved her story because she's like the rest of us. Russell was right. Sometimes you forget that Tony started with 1 client. I started with 1 client, nervous to death, right? Russell did. But it looked like, sometimes it could look like it's so far away. And then you get somebody like Stacy come in and just brings it right to like the real, mess to message. Her mess became the message, and now look what she's doing for so many incredible people. So I thought that was the perfect segue and the perfect transformation. And then, listen, this is the part, if you're in the software, Russell shared the homework. That could be like, ah, to you, or it could be like, hell yes, right? Who it's a little bit, ah. Give me it's a little ah when you see that. Who's like, hell yes? Give me the hell yes, right? Exactly. Look, Claudine is like a hell yes, right? I see you, right? But here's the thing. This is simplicity on the other side of complexity, right? Like, these things that you're seeing, they're like, oh man, that took 5 minutes for Russell to share that. Think about when Tony and I started. Like, literally, we had to build infomercials and go to events and build courses. It would cost you $100,000 to build the course because you had to hire a graphic designer and then go to get photos done. Like, none of this stuff existed, right? It's literally like we're heading towards 10,000 courses right now since yesterday. By the end of the day, we'll be at 10,000 courses put up on mastermind.com in a day and a half, right? People are taking uncomfortable action, imperfect action. and they're just making it real. And that's what our goal and desire was. And it's why we built this. It's why we're here. And again, tomorrow, oh my God, tomorrow is going to be the part that's going to blow your mind. You must be here tomorrow because we're going to teach ethical influence. Like if you know how to go in the software, you know how to extract what you have, you know how to take your scene, teach, like as we keep breaking this down, then how do we get people to say yes? How do we identify who would pay you and how to get them to pay you with your heart, not with a cheesy sales presentation? And that's where I love to shine. I can't wait to share that tomorrow. Be ready for tears, excitement, joy, and breakthroughs tomorrow. So we're so excited. And for those of you getting into the software, so cool. Thank you, Stacy, for doing that. I seriously had no idea that was coming. So that was really awesome. So yes, if you're in the software, congratulations. If you already got the software, we'll put all those bonuses in. Remember, for that $1 that we give away, and I just want to remind you to take this experience. I want you to do that homework, right? For that $1 that we give away to Feeding America, plus we put more money in, you get access to the software. You can go back and do yesterday's homework and today's homework. You get Stacy's bonus, plus you're getting the audio version of this book. And I read it, first time ever, took me a long time. And another tool that Tony and I created. Get instant downloads that. You guys can have fun with that. Okay, you guys ready for some prizes? You're like, okay, Dean, it's almost 2 hours in. Let's get some prizes going. Okay, so we had prizes yesterday. Oh, I got one more thing. I'm sorry. That was the homework that Russell shared for those of you in the software. We also want to give homework for those of you, I don't know why, but that are not in the software, you have homework as well. And that is go live in the Build Your Brand Challenge. Light it up, like go live. And everybody should do this. This is a challenge for everybody. Gives you double chances to win if you're in both. And share the scene in your life that you can use as the foundation for your teaching. Share one scene, right? Just that moment. I shared about the book. I shared about my kids. I shared about a few things, right? What is that scene that could set up what you can teach? And try to do it in 3 minutes or less. And you're going to hashtag that. And please put this in all the chats, please, so you can help. Hashtag that homework number 2. Hashtag homework number 2. And just share a scene in your life. Do it. Take uncomfortable, imperfect action. Tomorrow, we're giving away a whole bunch of stuff again, like crazy prizes. Wait till you see what we're giving away today. And then in Russell's homework, remember, you can get that breakdown at BYBHomework.com. BYBHomework.com. If you guys could help me out and put it in all your chats, Facebook, wherever you are, just do that for me. BYBHomework.com is for Russell stuff. So go do that live. Take uncomfortable action. Make that happen. All right. We're giving away some swag. Look, I asked them to show them what swag was. Can you guys see this? Oh, no, it's too low. I'll lift it up. It's this stuff. Oh, wait. Can we turn it this way? No. Switch cameras. All right, I messed this all up. You guys made it look pretty. Look at that. A whole bunch of mastermind swag. Hat, water bottle. My wife. Who in here loves swag? Do you guys love swag as much as my wife? Oh, my God. Marge, I see you saying it. Ella. Stacy, my wife goes nuts. If like people send us stuff all the time, and she's like, "Oh my God, a water bottle!" I'm like, "Babe, we have like 100 of those." She's like, "Yeah, but look at this one." So anyway, a whole bunch of you are gonna get swag today. So here's some winners. Again, a couple of winners from those who did the homework who are not in the software. Then we have a bunch of winners in the software. Milford Smith. Let's give it up for Milford Smith. Milford, you guys are playing full out. Thank you for taking action, uncomfortable action. We see you. Wins Zidor. You have a whole bundle of swag coming to you as well. Let's give it up for Wins. Carla Svengson. I can't pronounce names. I'm so sorry. But Carla S., way to go. You got a box of swag coming. Way to take action. Barbara Grimwade. Barbara Grimwade. You have a box of swag coming your way. Deborah McClary. Deborah McClary, congratulations. You have swag coming your way. Let's hear some cheer. All right. Again, this is the bribe. Like, make no mistake. We're bribing you to do these homework assignments. Because we know the byproduct will be you'll have a breakthrough. Like, you need to go back and watch Russell's video and go in and do it. Take your time. If it takes you an hour, 2 hours, just take the uncomfortable action. Remember, you don't have to publish it today. You don't have to make it public to the world. You can build it all until you're ready and then hit submit, and then it goes to the world. Does that make sense? Right? Okay, now we have 3 grand prize winners. Number 1 is going to get, do I have that on here? Number 1 is an iPhone 11. And number 2 is going to be 2 tickets, or 2 more winners are going to get elite tickets to the World Summit. The World Summit's going to be off the freaking charts, by the way. Tony and I are going to be in his big $7 million. That's legit what he paid. I probably not supposed to tell everybody. I say 5, but it's really like 7 by the time he's done. He went nuts. Thought it was going to be like 3 million, then 4, and then these big, like it went crazy. But now he's got his stadium like 4 miles from his house, and he could serve everybody in their homes. And if you're a part of UPW, if you're a part of Business Master, you know it is off the charts. Like, I love this Zoom setup, but it ain't nothing like that. The World Summit's going to be off the charts, and you're going to get our most expensive ticket that comes with so much stuff. It comes with meet and greets with Tony and I, and all this cool after event masterminds and all this. I don't have it in front of me. I should, but it's a $1,500 ticket. And let's bring up those winners. Can you bring up that slide? And our winners are, for the iPhone 11 is Tesna Abrams. Tesna, can we give it up for Tesna? She overcame her limiting belief that she wouldn't accomplish much more or finish school, and now she's going to teach people how to be financially literate. Let's give it up for Tesna. All right, number 2 is Jeremy Carroll. Elite ticket for the first ever World Summit. She has fought through depression and thinking she wasn't good enough to help others. Now she's creating a class to help others move past their trauma. Can we give it up for her for taking uncomfortable action? All of these people have created and did their homework. Like, they're in the software and did their homework, even though feeling that way, and on to another level. And last is Adeline St. Louis. Adeline, congratulations. She overcame her limiting belief of imposter syndrome this week, and she stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning to finish her homework this morning. She wants to inspire people who feel imposter syndrome like her. Can we give it up for everybody who took this action? Seriously. Guys, I know we cover a lot. We said we were going to go like an hour a day. Today it's an hour and 49 minutes, but we covered a lot. And if you were with us live and you even stuck through the buffering, thank you. Thank you. That, again, your gift to us is playing full out. Your gift is taking action. Your gift is doing something and moving forward and not looking back with regret. That's what we love. Literally, Tony called me last night when Stacy was teaching. Tony called me, goes, "How are they today? Are they playing full?" This is what Tony always asks. Are they playing full out? Are you getting them to realize what they're getting? Are they taking action? Did they get the solve? Like, this is what we talk about all the time, is getting you to play full out. This is how we change the world. And this is selfishly how Tony and I get to leave a legacy. We'll be gone someday. And someday when we're gone, Mastermind and you guys teaching other people, self-education will be the new norm, accessible to those who need it, just like we did. And such an honor, privilege, and a pleasure to have you here. Listen, watch this video 3 times if you have to. Get inside the software. Go to trymastermind.com. Get the $1 trial, and let's take this to another level. Those of you in our VIP, you hang around, you stay on the Zoom. We're going to take like a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with you. Those of you in Facebook, those of you on Zoom with us, congratulations for being here. Let's take massive action, do the homework, take uncomfortable action, and tomorrow, it just happens to be my favorite day yet. So we'll see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow.